Hey, Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, brought to you by BetDSI, and I'm your host, Mitchell Renz. You're watching Raider Nation Rumors. They are rumors straight from my loyal subscribers, and if you want to get on the show, the link is right below, youtube.com/Raiders Report, the #1 Raiders channel on YouTube. My first question coming in is from Raymond Sunner. Raymond, get a picture. You're a watcher. I know you are. Get a picture. Grab both Flowers and Collins. They are young and stars. We'll start it off with the Raiders signed Trey Flowers in free agency. I'm going to give this one 2 Chucky heads, and I think people are talking, and I like the idea of getting Trey Flowers. When I look to see what the Raiders need on defense, they need a player like Trey Flowers, a steady 7-sack guy since 2016, and he's going to bring a lot of ability to stop the run. But I want him because he's able to get after the quarterback. 20 QB hits last year. He had 8 sacks. A young defensive player who could really build a strong foundation around a guy like Arden Key. Arden Key led the Raiders last year with 11 QB hits. Sure, he didn't get as many sacks, but I like Arden Key. I love Mo Hurst up the middle. You put Trey Flowers, Mo Hurst, Arden Key, maybe add even another player in the draft. That defensive line then is starting to look pretty good to me. When I see the Raiders had only 13 sacks last year, at the end of the day, we need to spend big on free agency on a defender. I want to go out and get Trey Flowers. Now, when I look at where I think Trey Flowers is going to play in 2019, I do have the Raiders on my list here. Now, you can see the Detroit Lions. They're #1. Why are the Lions #1? Well, Matt Patricia used to be the defensive coordinator for the Patriots. Now he's with the Lions. The Lions have a big need just like the Raiders do. But the Raiders are there at 2, the Patriots at 3, the Titans, and then the Browns. I look at this board here. I'm just saying, there's a chance. Now, let's go back to the question one more time because I only answered half of it. Collins, Landon Collins to the Raiders. I'm only going to give this one 1 Chucky head, and I think this one is a small shred of truth. Now, why? Now, I like Landon Collins a lot from a player perspective, but they are going to bring back Eric Harris. Reggie Nelson, Gilchrist, they're still free agents. And I understand he didn't have any interceptions last year, but he had 7 from 2016 to 2017. In 2017, 3rd in Defensive Player of the Year. And when I look to see what Landon Collins was able to do this past year for the Giants, and let's just be real, it was a bad year for the Giants. And when I saw this Giants defense in 2017, it flourished because of how great Landon Collins is and everything that he can bring to the football field. You need a guy who can go up and get the ball? Landon Collins. You want a guy who can tackle? Landon Collins. Landon Collins is an absolute stud. He's my #1 free agent right now, left on the board in terms of defensive players. And if the Raiders can go up and get him, man, I would absolutely love it. The only issue is here are my top 5 teams for Landon Collins. And as you can see, Raiders aren't on this list. I know the Colts are really interested in him. I know the Packers are. The Chiefs have a big need there. The Texans, they may move on from the Honey Badger. And then he could also just go back to the Giants. But at the end of the day, the Colts have the most money in cap room space. They could go out and get Landon Collins. I want to know from everybody watching, okay? Trey Flowers, Landon Collins, who's the better fit for the Raiders? Now, you got to think about it in age. You got to think about it in how much we're going to pay them. And then team need. Better fit for the Raiders, Trey Flowers or Landon Collins. Type F for Flowers or type C for Collins. Something that you guys need to get on is BetDSI. Go to chatsports.com/bet if you love betting on NFL games. If you want to bet on March Madness, you can do that. You want to bet on MLB? BetDSI is the internet's #1 sports book, and they've hooked us up with the best promo code on the internet. Again, it's Raiders120 for a 120% deposit bonus. If you don't know what it means, you probably don't watch the show. Put down $50, you're going to get $60 for free. Put down $100, get $120 for free. Challenge me. Hit me up on IG, on Twitter, at MitchellRenz365. If you think you're smarter than me, prove it at BetDSI. Chatsports.com/bet. Chase, E120, get a pick. Who would you choose from the Raiders in the draft? Miles Sanders or Damian Harris? Out of those 2 running backs, I would probably choose Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders might be the not popular choice, but I think Damian Harris was just more of a product of a system. Next choice, DK Metcalf or Riley Ridley. I'm going to go DK Metcalf easily on that one. And I know that they're looking at them. Love the show, dude. Chase, love all that. So DK Metcalf higher on the Raiders' big board. For me, this one's for Chucky heads, believe it, baby. And when I see DK Metcalf, there's no doubt that he is physically gifted. We'll say that. But he absolutely tore up the NFL Combine, and he's got that unreal size combo, size, speed, jumping ability, and Gruden's in love with him, right? And when you can see that a 6'3", 228-pound receiver, Gruden literally said, like, I don't know how anyone's going to tackle this guy. And yeah, I'll be honest, if I'm a safety, I'm a cornerback, and DK Metcalf's running at me full steam, there you go, man. You go right by me. I'm not doing it. But that 4.33 40 time, insane. The 40.5-inch vert, great. The cone drill, not as crazy about. But again, when you're this big, can run that fast, can leap, that's a huge asset. Now, he did play in only 7 games last year. He was dealing with a neck injury. But again, when you watch him on the field, he was super talented, and Ole Miss dealt with a lot of things. A lot of things. Here's the thing, though. There's rumors right now that DK could be a top 10 pick. So, in all honesty, I think if the Raiders want DK Metcalf in silver and black, and just saying, DK and Antonio Brown might look pretty good. If they want to do it, they might have to get him at pick 4. So this question is based on that. Will DK Metcalf be a bust? Type Y for yes and for no. If the Raiders draft DK at 4 and he doesn't produce, does anybody else know a wide receiver that the Raiders took at 4 or in top 10? Just saying. Next one coming up here on the board is from Tyrann Rogers. 3 people, no pictures. What are we doing, people? I'm hearing it's going to be Haha Clinton-Dix over Collins. In terms of this one, are the Raiders targeting Clinton-Dix in free agency? This one's 3 chalky heads, and I think it's pretty likely. And when I look at Clinton-Dix, I see a very talented player who had a bit of a roller coaster ride last year, and I think it was due to bad Packers defense, going to Washington, which, come on, nobody wants to play for the Redskins. I just think it was difficult. But when I saw what he did in 2017, he had a Pro Bowl caliber year, and let's say they can't go out and get a Landon Collins, or let's say the Raiders can't go out and get an Earl Thomas or Tyrann Mathieu. I think Haha Clinton-Dix could be a plan B. And I see 78 tackles last year, 3 interceptions. I personally love Haha, and I think he could be a solid option for the Raiders. So you know what I'm going to ask you. Do you love Clinton-Dix in a Raiders uniform? Type 1 for yes or type 2 for no. I want to hear it in the comments section. If you think I'm bad at jokes, let me hear it. At MitchellRens365. In case you didn't hear this, or in case you don't subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/Raiders Report, I broke down the Antonio Brown trade. This is what went down. The Steelers, they're going to receive a 3rd-round pick, 66th, and a 5th-round pick, 142. And the Raiders get Antonio Brown. And if you want to see the exact, I say, more in-depth look at it, Antonio Brown, make sure you guys subscribe, youtube.com/Raiders Report. I put out a video. Still think it's running live as we speak. Also, I'm a man of my word. And I tweeted this out a few days ago. I think, 2 days ago? If Antonio Brown gets traded to the Raiders, I'm drinking 84 beers in 6 minutes. Last Tuesday, I drank 6 beers in 6 minutes. If you haven't seen the show, check it out. I think it's pretty awesome. I love the community aspect of it. Like I said, I'm a man of my word. I don't know how I'm doing it yet. If you want to Venmo me, at MitchellRens365 to put together some funeral arrangements, I'm all about it. But I am a man of my word. I don't know what day it's going to be, but I will do it live. 84 beers in 6 minutes. Believe it, baby. Mike Runyon, first guy pick. Thank you, Mike. Go get Coleman. He means Tevin Coleman. Flowers, Collins. Draft Devin White. Trade for Brown. Playoff bound or not. Well, the trade for Brown has already happened. So now we got to go get Tevin Coleman. I'm going to give this one 2 chalky heads, and I think people are talking now. I like Tevin Coleman a lot, and he wants to be a starting running back. And when I look at Marshawn Lynch, I see Doug Martin. They're still free agents, and I think the Raiders personally are going to bring back Marshawn Lynch final year in Oakland. Now, I don't know if that necessarily means they're going to use him, but they've already tendered Jalen Richard. Here's the thing, though. There's plenty of rumors on whether or not the Raiders are going to target Le'Veon Bell. Now, let's say Le'Veon Bell doesn't want to join AB, or let's say the Jets offer Le'Veon Bell a lot of money. Maybe plan B, again, could be Tevin Coleman. And when I see what he did last year, 167 carries, 800 yards. He averaged 4.8 yards per carry, 4 touchdowns. Like, he's a really solid player. And I think he can catch the ball, he can run between the tackles, and I like the idea of Tevin Coleman, and I like the idea of him with Jalen Richard. With all that being said, here are my top teams for Tevin Coleman in 2019. I like Tevin Coleman with the Houston Texans. I think it's a fun fit. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, interesting team there. The Raiders come in at 3, the Ravens, the Jets, also a sneaky team there. Now, if the Jets don't get Le'Veon Bell, I think Tevin Coleman becomes the Jets' #1 option. But just saying, Tevin Coleman, Le'Veon Bell could be interesting. Do you want the Raiders to sign a running back in free agency? That's what I'm asking. So type YP for yes, please, or type NF for nah, fam. If you want to know what I think, hit me up on IG or Twitter at MitchellRens365. I'll tell you maybe the running back that I want the Raiders to target. Manny Lone Star. Great hair in this picture. It would be nice to have the Honey Badger at safety. So the rumor is here, Honey Badger will be a Raider. I'm going to give this one only one Chucky head, though, man. I think it's a small shred of truth, and I think when healthy, Tyrann Mathieu is one of the best safeties in the NFL. I think we can all agree with that. I think he's a Swiss Army knife type of player who can go up and ball hawk. He can tackle. He can play multiple positions on defense, and in my opinion, he's a Gruden grinder. Now, he does have a lengthy injury history, which I think could scare multiple teams. It could also scare the Raiders. But he wants to get paid because he took a pay cut last year. Now, we just paid Antonio Brown all this money. Are we going to have enough money maybe to go out and get the Honey Badger? But who's the better fit for the Raiders? Tyrann Mathieu or Haha Clinton-Dix? I want you to type TM for Mathieu or Ha for Clinton-Dix. Comment below if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. I want to give a shout out to all my awesome subscribers. And if you're not already subscribed, get with it. The #1 Raiders channel on YouTube. It's youtube.com/Raiders Report. Anthony Contreras says, man, I'm late. Sorry, Mitch. Catching up, though. Go Raiders. Anthony, pro tip. Turn on those notifications. You'll never be late. It's the thing that looks like a bell, my man. Next one then coming in is from Raider Nation themselves with a picture of, looks like Sylvester Stallone. Interesting. Cheers, my dude. Love the show. #Raiders. You better be coming along for the ride when I drink 84 beers, or attempt to drink 84 beers in 6 minutes. And I can also promise you, I will throw up on air if I have to. Morris Kong. #Raiders. I just wanted to give a shout out, Mitchell Renz. I'm a diehard Raiders fan in Cambodia right now, and I believe we might have a surprising season this year and surprise everyone that doubt us. Go Raiders. Morris, love hearing that my show is wider than just the U.S. I think it's absolutely crazy. It blows my mind sometimes, so much appreciated. Thanks for watching. Get all your other friends to subscribe to youtube.com/Raiders Report, the #1 Raiders channel on YouTube. And oh yeah, Antonio Brown, he's a Raider. See you, Raider Nation. Raider Nation, what's going on? Is this the #1 Raiders channel on YouTube? For Chucky heads, believe it, baby. And if you haven't already, subscribe right here. I'm giving you Chucky heads, news, rumors, Raider Nation rumors. And look at this, I'm making your life easier. Check out my next video. Thanks for watching, and go Raiders.